are listening to the Community Wealth Builders All Access podcast. The production team are Angel Moore and Georgia Sutherland. I'm Yve Robinson and welcome to the show. Well, hello, here we are again, and I'm here today with Mick Perry, and he's from a really quite different sort of approach to how to help communities, and it's called So Mindful Crafts.
That's
right.
So
welcome to the show.
And thank you for having me.
And right, before we get into talking about that, I need to talk about you, because I always like to know what it is that makes people, what makes people, to be honest, what, bring...
Yeah.
So tell me a bit about yourself.
Yeah. Well, about myself, I mean, I've done various things throughout my life, but the main thing that I've done is I was a builder. So I've been a builder for 30 years and I had my own building company. And I went through a phase where I started to struggle with my own mental health a bit, anxiety and things like that. So, and I just started falling out of love with what I was doing and the company that I was running, because obviously I had quite a few people working for me and it was very busy and the stress was getting to me. And I thought, I'm getting older now, I'm in my 50s and I'm thinking, do I want to keep doing this all the time? So I ended up just having this thing one day where I thought, I'm going to pack it all in and come out of it. But I wanted to do something then that would help people, give people confidence. Because I found in a lot of the work that I was doing, I met a lot of people, and people who suffer with anxiety and depression and things always seem to have very low confidence and self-esteem. And that seems to be like one of the big things. And I think, so if you could do something that you could help people build upon that, then will that improve, the mental health side of things? So I just got talking to various people. I was talking to somebody in the council, and then they just suggested to me, why don't you set up a CIC group, which I've never even heard of a CIC. And it just
stop you a minute. CIC, what does that mean?
Oh, CIC, yeah. A CIC is a community interest company. So basically, it's when you set up a non-profit organisation, and it's there all on public house, Companies House. You can see all the details of that company. But we don't then make any profits. All the money that we get goes back into the company to put things on for the community. So that's like what a CIC company is. Okay. So, and what it were then is like, so what would I do with this company? And it just so happens then that my wife has a fabric and haberdashery shop, which she's had for 10 years. And before the pandemic, she used to do some little workshops, just getting people together and just doing sewing and little various projects. And it used to be a really nice little group, and people used to always comment how much it had helped them and it had helped with the mental health. So I was looking in then to crafting and other things, and there's so many case studies that have been done and studies done with around crafting and painting and all sorts of various things, that it has so many health benefits, down from, to help improve mental health, giving people confidence, helping with dexterity, the list goes on. And I thought, right, okay, so, and then we had the pandemic, which obviously created a lot of problems then for a lot of people. And so my wife then stopped doing the workshops because of what had happened. And it's so funny then how it led her business, because then she ended up, she used to have a room that was used for doing this crafting. But then with the pandemic, she sort of, then it boosted her mail order side of things. Mm-hmm. So then she stopped the workshops and started using that room then as a mail order room. So it's funny how her business changed there. And the thing that happened then is there was a building next door that come up for lease, and I thought, it's linked right onto her shop. So I had a word with the landlord. I thought, can we knock through and make it sort of like an add-on to what she did, and do like crafting workshops and things. So we sort of did that. I put then 20 grand of my own money in to set it all up and been a builder, and I did all the work, so which I saved all the money. And then it was one of them things then where I was a little bit green with it all at the time, and I'm thinking, all right, we'll do this, we'll have lots of people come in and we'll get funding for this. And how wrong was I? It's very very difficult to do and to sort
it's
of...
like pushing a piece of string, isn't it?
God,
you think you got so far and then it all just...
and it was like... so we set it all up, and then, it was very difficult then to try to get people knowing what you're doing. And then we obviously, people through my wife's shop then started coming onto the workshops and thought it was really good. So I was learning then from that, and I thought, right, well, what I'm seeing is I didn't want everybody who's got all the equipment and already is into crafting and sewing to be using it to come along. I want to hear people who haven't done crafting and sewing, and people who haven't got money to buy the equipment and to experience what it can be like. So I thought that then made me have a little change with it all, and I thought, right, what I want to do now is I want to have a place where I have all the equipment, so we have everything there, right down to the machinery, all the specialist equipment, even down to scissors, all the equipment that's required. So I purchased everything, and thought, right, we've now got a venue where we have all the equipment, so you just bring yourself. You know, people don't have to, who have got stuff, don't have to then try to, it means to cart things over. And then people who've always wanted to try it but hadn't had the money then to buy the equipment to do it, could come along and experience then what it would like and learn new skills, probably find a new hobby, a new passion, to do. And so that's then where we took that direction. And then as we've been going and people have been attending now, I started putting out social media posts, and it just started growing from there. Then I was going on training courses to see about how you do funding and various things, talking to different people, and it's just sort of like grown over a period of time. Where then we've been quite successful now, luckily, with funding, which has allowed us then to keep, progressing.
And most of your funding, where does that come from?
That comes from local council. I mean, Doncaster Council is...
they are incredible. I very often, especially on social media, people love to deride Doncaster Council. Now, I'm a little bit biased because I started working at Doncaster Council when I was about, I think, 20, and I just around the corner from here, actually, at Nether Hall. And but I do think that there's so many good things that happen. And people don't know what they're doing. People like to deride them, but there's a lot going on, isn't there?
Yeah, I think people are just quick to moan about like how things are around Doncaster, like how the roads are now, this side of the bins and everything else. But then they're not looking at the things that they do and how many people they do actually help. Do you know what I mean? I mean, we do a lot of workshops now as well for SEND people with disabilities. And again, that's through the Doncaster Council, which have, put us in touch with them people. We've now set our venue up, and again, funding's helped us. But even, I mean, like ASDA as well. I mean, ASDA has been really good because ASDA give us money to put air conditioning in our building, and ASDA paid for a disabled toilet in our building. That's fantastic. So our building now is fully accessible for anybody, that's disabled. So it's full disabled access. We've got disabled toilets. We've even got council again paid for us to put a sensory room in because we work with SEND children as well. So we have a sensory room on site, which really helps. So all these things have gone along as time. We got National Lottery as well. National Lottery give us some funding. We've had Tesco have give us some funding. So there's lots of businesses, local business around Doncaster, and Doncaster have been amazing. So we've had.
Because did they point you in the direction like Doncaster and Community Wealth Builders? Pushing you where to go for grants and things, because I mean, it's a minefield sometimes. It is,
and for anybody who's got CICs or anybody who's looking to set up or taking funding routes, I would highly recommend Doncaster, to contact them because they're so helpful and they've got so many different departments and they're there to guide you through the process with things. And so there is a lot of help out there and there's funding out there, but it's just tapping into it. You've got to just be something a little bit different because there's lots of craft groups about. And there's lots of organisations about that do crafting sessions or do little things, which is fine. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with all of that. But what we do is we just like to be that little bit different. The fact that we like to put on a range of different activities. Do you know what I mean? And the fact that we provide everything as well. So it's like it just makes it a lot better for people to access.
Now it's really funny that I started off asking you about you, but you're so passionate about this. We had about 3 sentences about you.
because there's not really a lot about me.
And then we've gone into it, which is fine, but it just shows just how passionate you are about this, which it's wonderful to see actually. That and you were saying about the pandemic, and I know it was a terrible time and everything, but one of the things that I think is a positive is that people are ready to talk about mental health.
Yes,
and how things help them. And this kind of thing.
It's always been there, but it seems to have been a bit of a taboo subject. Whereas I think since the pandemic, it's just become more recognised. And I think now there's a lot more about now to try to raise awareness of it. And I think the big thing is men is because men are so stubborn. Do you know what I mean? We are a very stubborn breed.
Well, it's just, it's our upbringing, the way we, I mean, like I've got a son, and I want him to be this new age man who in touch with his feelings and everything. But, society doesn't do that to them. Society pushes that all down. The same way as creativity, to be honest. Because it's like, I remember when I was at school, we used to have sewing, and it was like, oh, it's a bit of a get out. But then I enjoyed it. And the same with, I loved art and everything.
Yeah.
But then you leave school and you don't do it anymore. And,
That's it,
and
yeah,
to be able
yeah.
to come back to it and have a group of people saying, oh, this is what I do, that's great.
I think it's nice when we have the men coming on the workshop as well, because it's nice to move them stigmas. What people always they always seem to assume that anything to do with crafting is to do with females. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and it's like, or gay men, and it's not.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
It's across
for
the board.
everybody. It's across the board for everybody. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And like I say, people who do suffer, with the mental health, which, like I say, I do myself. Anxiety and depression and things it affects everybody differently with stuff. But what I always say to people is like, anxiety and depression, it's one of them things that can grip people and get people, but it also, anxiety and depression don't like moving targets, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So basically, if you can keep yourself active,
keep busy
busy and trying to do things and engage and socialise, that is a big plus. That's what's helped with me doing what I do, because we're working for myself for so many years, and having people work for you, your life becomes a bit lonely.
Yes, yeah. So it's isolating, isn't it?
Very isolating, yeah.
I
people always think you're making lots of money and other things, but it's
and you
not.
don't, and it's like, are they going to turn up tomorrow? They've all been out, that kind of thing. You've got to keep at it all the time.
You have,
yeah.
And
I think, like I say, with the pandemic, that was the thing. We all learnt what isolation did to us,
exactly,
and that we didn't really like it.
And then I've discovered as well that how this has helped me with my mental health is because we're having lots of different people coming from different areas of Doncaster and further afield. You're getting to know people, and you're actually having time to sit and talk with people and understand their stories, understand their issues, which then they realise then that they're not just alone. The symptoms that they're having and how they're feeling isn't just them. People, it's across the board with a lot of people, and that really does help. And I think I found that more people can be open and talk about things. It really does, improve people's mental health. It's improved me.
Like you say with men,
if
they've got a reason to be there, that's something else. Because that's the one thing I will say. I don't like to generalise normally, but usually you've got to give men a reason to be there, not just we're going to chat.
Yes, exactly. Because I think it's like, again, because we do a men only group on a every Thursday evening. So every Thursday evening, 5 p.m. 7:30 p.m. It's totally free for guys to attend. It took us a year to get this up and running, but it was very difficult to try and say, well, we've got a men's social group. Again, how do you get men to come along? Because if my wife to say to me, oh, there's a group down the road, go to it, I'd just be like, no thanks. It's very difficult to get there. So we had to then come up with ideas of how do we get guys to come along to realise that it's a non-judgmental environment that's friendly, everybody gets on with everybody. And so we started putting on different activities. And we had volunteers who were coming on board who were saying, well, I've got a skill in like electronics, so we'll have a night. I'll teach people how to do electronics now, to do soldering. So we'd put some nights on doing that. We've some guys who are like they're into art. They might be an artist, so they say, well, I'll do a group teach people how to draw, and things like that. And it's nice that people have come forward to offer their skills. Do you know what I mean? To then help people then think, well, actually, I'm into drawing, or I'm into this or that. And they'll come along to it then. And when they've come onto the group and they've realised then that, it's quite nice here, it's nice and laid back, everybody's dead friendly, there's people then, start to find out what other people's interests are, that then gets conversation flowing, because they're like, oh, I'm actually into that, and I'm into that. And before you know it, you've just got this nice, sort
cohesive
of like,
group.
And it's really good. And like I say, there's no judgment with anything, with anybody. Anybody can come along, with it. And it's just nice then for guys to just have that little bit of time out, get together, talk about, whatever they want to talk about, and leave, feeling sort of positive and good about it.
It's good to make connections with people.
Oh, definitely. And we've got guys who are into music. I mean, what's developed throughout this process, we've got some guys now who come along who play guitar. One guy's a drummer from a band and things like that. So now they've created their own little friendship. So every Wednesday they actually hire a jamming room and they then go jamming together, which they never would have
wouldn't have done
if
it.
they that group.
So you just don't know how it's going to shoot off. I'm just going to go back and say where you are. You're at 5 York Buildings on Edlington Lane. It's across from Home Bargains.
That's correct, yeah.
So it's quite easy to find.
Very easy to find.
And that men-only group is Thursdays, and it's 5 until 7:30.
It is, yeah.
I just want to get that out there because I think it sounds like a fantastic group for people to join. Well, men to join.
Yeah, it is. It's good. It is. It's really good.
And then you do other things, don't you? Do lots of workshops and stuff, and you've got upcoming things as well.
Yeah. We've got things with, I'll just say as well with the, where we're situated, it is free parking. Because a lot of people will always ask, have you got parking?
Yes.
That's always a main thing for anywhere. We've got our own big car park, and also Own Bargains is a non-monitored
Yes.
car park, so you
Yeah.
can park in there. And we are on a bus route, literally the bus
Yes.
stops are
Yeah.
just not
Now
really
that you've
outside,
said where
so,
it is, I
yeah,
know exactly
yeah.
where it is.
So it's accessible
Yeah.
size of it
Yeah.
is really good, the location's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as regards to the workshops, yeah, we do a range of workshops. I mean, we do things from teaching people how to use sewing machines, teaching people how to make clothing, teaching people how to do like quilting if they want to do quilting, crochet, knitting, leather work, hand leather stitching.
Yeah.
We got sometimes you can't think of everything that
No.
you do. We have that many things
I
going
know you've
on
got some
all
up
the time.
on the 9th. You've got a make a crochet flower.
Yeah, that's
Now
it.
it's funny because my niece did that recently, not here, and now she's, you know, whenever you ring her, she's there crocheting away. She's really into it, you know.
Crochet is becoming quite trendy now.
Yes.
Because there's quite a few stars now, like
Yes.
Jason Moore and things
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
who are all wearing
Yes.
crochet clothes and then doing crochet.
Yeah.
And so it's on trend at the
Yeah,
moment.
yeah.
When we've actually just took on a new crochet tutor, because that's another thing that we like to do. People who've got passions. So like now we've got a young girl who's 19 called Theone, and her passion is crochet. But she's got a real good twist on it because she's got a younger mind on it.
Yeah.
She wants to do things in a different way. So she's come on board with us now because we want to try to encourage people, give them the environment to teaching,
Yeah.
let them have them experiences which builds on their,
Yes.
sort of experience and builds their confidence. And so we're giving them that platform to do that. So Theone's done exactly
And
that.
that sounds brilliant because you say she's 19.
She's 19,
and
yeah.
so you've got quite a wide range
We've got
of,
a wide range,
of
yeah,
age
yeah,
groups.
of
Then.
age groups, yeah. So she'll come along now. She's doing the crochet group, so she's doing these things with flowers now and things which just look so realistic.
Yeah.
And people who are into crochet or starting out have looked at it and thought, you know, I'd love to be able to do that. So these workshops are like, they fill up so fast, like the flower one you talk about is, the spaces went on that within a matter of
Oh, right. Well, I was going to say it was on the 9th, but we're not going to say about that.
Yeah,
But you've got
fully
other
booked,
things. You've got
but,
card making coming up on the 16th.
Yeah, yeah.
That's from 10 till 1. And you've got a memory unicorn or bear.
Yeah, we
Is
do.
that when they make something from something that...
From like loved ones' clothes
Right,
or things
yeah,
like
yeah,
that. So,
yeah.
so yeah, we do memory bear workshops, which are very popular, and they're for people then to come along, and it might be like where somebody might have lost somebody in a family member that they don't know what to do with their clothes and things. So to make a memory bear out of them is really nice to make that little keepsake to have there. Even from like children then when they're growing up and they've got some of the baby clothes, their favourite clothes that they didn't want to keep, we can turn them into something like that, and then then you can have them showpiece then on the side. You know what I mean? Which is, and then you can actually then, what we also do is as a follow up from that workshop is we do how to make miniature clothes to fit the bears.
Oh, fantastic!
So that's another way then of when somebody's used their item of clothing to make the bear, then other items of clothing they can still use then to make miniature clothing for the bear.
Oh, wow.
So
You've put a lot of thoughts gone into this.
yeah.
And you do children's workshops as well through the summer?
Yes, yeah, from age 5-year-old through to adult basically. So the minimum age is 5, and a lot of people then get quite shocked or surprised when we're letting 5-year-olds use sewing machines.
Yeah.
So, but our machines are adapted to be very safe, so we can use them without foot pedals, hence which helps with people with disabilities.
Yeah.
And young children then, and then we can obviously reduce the speeds right down. So they're very safe to use, do you know what I mean? So, and I think when you've got young kids and you sit them in front of a machine, that can be quite intimidating and scary at first. You know, it's surprising how sensible they can be with them because they've also got that little bit of fear of that machine.
Yeah.
But then when they've made something and used it, they just feel so empowered.
So they like make tote bags and things like that?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. They make all sorts of little things and little worry monsters and all sorts of stuff. Bunting's a favourite. So
it's incredible. And you say that Community Wealth Builders helped you. What kind of support did they give you?
We've had lots of support, you know, through various things like explaining us how to do funding, you know, putting us in touch with other organisations that might, you know, be might have particular people on their books. Well, they're looking then to think, well, how can we support these? Which groups could we steer them to? Do you know, it's like having steering groups where to put people to. So it helps in that way. I think networking and working with as many organisations as possible is great because there's things that we can steer post some people to. Do you know what I mean? Like say, well, look, actually, if this isn't quite for you, but they do this or they do this. Do you know what I mean? And it's. I think if you work together, it makes it a lot better. Because I've discovered with this industry as well, there is quite a few who can be a bit protective in what they do.
Yes,
and you shouldn't be like that. Because to me, you're there doing what you do to help the community. not to have it as this
No,
is mine.
no,
you know what I mean?
no,
So because that then becomes clicky, and
Yes,
then people don't like.
and you want it to be
clicky,
free
so-
flowing, so you get lots of people and lots of age groups. And,
Exactly,
Yeah, you know,
yeah.
so that it's for the community, not
Exactly,
for any
yeah,
particular
yeah.
community.
I mean,
you know.
what we do is, the demographics. I mean, we have everybody from all parts of Doncaster coming, even Sheffield, Rotherham, Barnsley,
Yeah.
Workshop. So we get people travelling from all over. So
Yeah.
it's because I think it's pretty unique in what we do.
Yes.
And everybody tells us that they always say they've not seen anywhere else, like it and how we do. And volunteers, we have a lot of volunteers as well. We've got about 12 volunteers now who are, every week that come into the venue, and they're offering their
their skills.
their
And you
skills
never
and
know
things.
when somebody walks through the door what skills they've got. do you?
Exactly.
Until
exactly.
you sit down and sort of think, right, what do you want to do? Well, I did this in my former life, and when you look at a person, you've no idea what they did.
I mean, like one example, we've got a lady who's come on board with us now called Denise. Her passion used to be making bridesmaid dresses, making clothes, doing lots of things. She had some trauma went off, I think, in her life somewhere, and she ended up then losing a sojo in effect, and and sort of like a passion for things.
Yeah.
And she then came on a couple of our sessions, which then ignited that again. And then she
I've just got to stop you a minute. You said the word sojo. I love that.
Oh, right.
I love that. She lost her sojo. And
Sorry,
she's
because
got-
I've heard somebody else say
That's
that.
fun. I love it.
So she came along some of the sessions. It reignited things again for her, and then she got a passion back for it. And then she asked if she could volunteer and put workshops on. And now she's teaching people how to make clothes and do things, and it's helping her.
Yeah.
And
helping others at the
the
same
others who
time.
are attending.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you've got this group, you're also going to use it for other platforms, because you said that tomorrow you've with Well Doncaster, who do a lot, don't they?
They do
really
fantastic
do.
work,
And that's all part of
I can't
Doncaster
praise them
Council,
enough, so.
and they're always there. They have officers that can come and help you and everything.
That's right,
But
yeah.
tomorrow you've got cancer awareness there.
Yeah, we have esophageal cancer. There's lots and lots, obviously, of different cancers. But the reason why esophageal cancer is the topic at the moment, because apparently in Rosington and Tickhill has the highest rates of that cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And so they want to just make people more aware of this and let people know more what the symptoms are, so that people could think, do you know something, actually I've got these symptoms, I think I'll get myself checked out. Because I'd never heard of anything like that before, and I didn't know what the symptoms were of it. And one of the big symptoms actually is indigestion. A lot of people suffering with a lot of indigestion and taking a lot of Gaviscon. A lot of people do that.
Yes,
So they're always just
and they
thinking,
self-medicate instead of going to
and they're just thinking, it's just indigestion, it's just acid reflux. And if that keeps continuing going on, and then there's other symptoms that can come with it, then you really need to get.
Funny, I know that to be true, because when I first married my husband, on the shopping list was always a bottle of Gaviscon.
Yeah.
And in the end, I said, if you're buying over-the-counter medicine all the time, surely you should go and see a doctor about it. Oh, no, I've been taking it for years. I said, and that's another reason why you should be doing it. And it really was, he'd got acid reflux, and they fixed the flap, and it was all okay.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he didn't, he just kept putting it on the list,
I think that's the thing. Most of the time, it's usually isn't anything. It's something else
Yeah,
that it can be. It's not always the same.
No, it isn't, no.
But you need to, I think if you're made aware of something, it could make some people then think, do you know something, actually? If I've had a bit of problem swallowing lately or other things, and it's other little bits that come along with it that you need to get checked out. But this project, what we're doing is it's through the NHS as well, so it's a pilot scheme. And basically what they've done is they've come to us and asked if we could come up with some ideas to try to, get the awareness for this cancer across in a different way. Because they were talking about posters, key rings, and
we've all been to all
we've
these
all
things.
done all that, and
You
these
know,
things, they don't get looked at, they get thrown away.
Yeah.
Things. So we did a project making these community quilts, which was very successful. So we thought, well, could we do something with making some signs? So what we've decided to do is we're going to get people who come along on this group. So we're looking for volunteers. We've had a few sign up already, which is good. But we're looking for volunteers who want to get involved. It might even be people who lost somebody in the family or going through something similar with, so might want to give something back to the community to help awareness. Because if we can just help one person, get checked and find out they've got it this early, because it can then be treated early, then it's well worth
Of course,
what we're doing. So basically, with this one is we're just going to be making a series of wall posters, which are going to be put into frames. Now they can be done by either sewing, doing applique fabrics like they use on quilts. It could be someone might be like into painting, so they might want to paint their own. Somebody might be into drawing. Some people might have absolutely no experience in any of these art forms, but just would like to get involved. We're there to show you. We've got experienced tutors and volunteers who are there to guide you. You know, we've got all the materials there, so just come along and have a go. It doesn't matter what your poster looks like, because that's your interpretation, and that then will be displayed in community centres and GPs.
Yeah. And that's something that really works, because I was at DRI recently, and the poster that caught my eye was like, you know, the Beatles on the outside Abbey Road on the
Right, yes.
excuse me, but they were talking about diabetes and each stage. Now, it wouldn't have caught my eye if it hadn't been that. So you need something different each time, not necessarily that, but something that, obviously that resonates with me because I'm nearly 70, but you know, for most people, you want something new. So that sounds like a really good new approach.
It's putting a twist on it. It's doing something different to trial it, to see how it works. And I think something like that then was more engaging. I think if you're going in somewhere, because it's nervous anyway when you go into GP centres and go into hospital appointments. Nobody likes doing any of those. And you know what I mean? It's
right. So this cancer awareness thing that we're talking about, and what a brilliant project. Now, what time is it?
It's on. It starts this Thursday, so tomorrow, at 10, 1. So it's 10 a.m. 1 p.m. You basically, anybody who's wanting to take part in it, you just go onto our website, which is www.somindfulcrafts.co.uk. Just hit workshops, and then all our workshops are listed there. You can clearly see then the esophageal cancer workshops, which are free, and you just basically book your place on there. It's very simple. So we've got them running every Thursday and every Tuesday. So we're doing 2 separate groups, so that some people on Tuesday might work better for them, some people Thursdays might work better. So, you know, we are running 2 separate groups, and these will continue each week until we've, you know, completed as many, you know, posters as we can do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
So it is an ongoing thing.
It's an ongoing thing. I think we're going to make about 30 odd posters. So it's once we've reached that, because we've got the frames already for them. So once we've reached that limit, then we'll stop it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And when you say everything is on your website, will there be sort of feedback on there about how that's worked for you? Because some people don't keep their websites up to date, but it sounds like you do, because of course you're having to put.
We keep our websites always updated weekly, and also we use social media a lot, like Facebook, basically. So people can follow us on Facebook to always know the latest things that are going off. So we always make sure that we use Facebook as a platform, you know, to just let people aware of how workshops are going, what things are doing. We have a mailing list as well, so like a newsletter. So we do regular newsletters to let people know what's going off. So, you know, I mean, there's various different platforms that way that we use. So.
And looking to the future, is there anything, you know, anything that you're thinking, I hope we can get this going, or, you know, is it?
Yeah, well, a new thing that we're doing is we've been trying to get funding for a while to be able to do IT support, because we found because we have a lot of people attend our workshops through our doors. I mean, last year we had around 2,000 people attend our sessions, which is really good. Do you know what I mean? And they're from, and the demographics, like I say, are all from around Doncaster and further afield. And we always ask people, because we do feedback forms. Every time we do a workshop, we give everybody a tablet. So, you know, like a little electronic tablet, and we ask them to just, while they're there, fill out our online form, which asks various questions. It's all anonymous, so it makes people be more honest. But that gives us then really important data. So it gives us a lot of charts, so we can then see how people's mental health's improving, how their skills are improving, you know, what they think of the workshop, what they think of the equipment, and then anything else they'd like to see or do. So we do use that data to try to always make improvements. And we've done a lot of questions out there asking people, you know, what would you like to do? And a lot of people have all the same. We found that middle-aged people, not always middle-aged people, I'm just using this as an example, but middle-aged people upwards really struggle with technology today. And unfortunately, we do live in a digital world now, and it doesn't matter what job you go into, there is going to be some form of, you know, IT equipment you're going to be using, or devices or something, and just, you'll be amazed at how many people just shy away from that. Just, I don't know how to do that. I can't do that. I don't know how to upload a picture. I don't know how to do that. And there's a lot of people who take pictures on the phones, but then don't know how to upload them on Facebook, how to do anything with them, or do anything with them. And then people just then are very scared of the internet, of doing things, and just computers in general. And I work with quite a few CIC companies, and it's surprising how when I speak with some of them, they don't keep some of their data on systems, and they're still doing books and writing down, and it's like, because they don't know how to do things. So we were looking into it, and we thought, you know something, to try to actually learn something, not everybody wants to sign up on long college courses,
No.
you know, and wants to do sort of like really formal sort of training with things, because they might not have the time, they might not have the money to be able to go onto them, and, you know, they might not have the confidence to want to go onto them. So we thought if we could set something up where we just do informal little workshops that we run weekly, just like a couple of hours, and literally we'll provide the laptops, we provide everything, we've got the tutors there, and just to teach people then the very basics, and then each week we'll do a little progression. So we'll start everything off small, and then we've got lots of ideas of how we're going to go about it, how we're going to get people learning about computers, how to then learn about social media, how to learn about internet security, and then even down to people being able to edit little photos, other things, and making little sort of like video clips and other things.
That is so helpful, because it's like very often when you're with, I'm almost 70, right? So you get a group of people, and all right, I'm fairly savvy, you know, I've got a ring that will take photographs, all kinds. I like all that tech, you know, But that's what I used to work in a studio, so of course that's why. But you sit around and somebody will say, oh, I don't know how to do cut and paste, I don't know how to do pictures. It's like, oh, and you don't know, I don't know how you know, but you either know or you don't. You know, sometimes you're intuitive and it does it. So it's really good if you can, if somebody says, I've got this phone, but I don't know how to do it. It's great to be able to, because in our hands we've got such a powerful thing. I call my phone Scotty, because when I was a kid, if I'd have had a thing like that, I'd have thought it could have beamed me up. You know, like beam me up, Scotty. You know, because it's amazing the power. You know, it's such a powerful tool. And again, like you said, going back to internet security, I think that's what puts a lot of people off.
Exactly.
Because all we hear is the bad things.
Yes.
And it's a bit like Facebook, it's or any of those things. It's not all bad. You know, TikTok's not all bad.
You need to use it to your advantage.
Exactly.
You can use it to make your life easy. It can do a lot more now. I mean, we have a lot of AI technology now, and things, but more and more people use it. But there's even down to people that'll say, oh, well, go on YouTube and look it up and things like that. Some people don't even know how to do that.
No,
So it's like, you know, so luckily we've just had funding now, which is going to allow us to do that.
And where did you get that funding from?
So funding, again, through, well, it's actually Doncaster that have got us the funding sorted out. There was a third party, and this was a different organisation.
But it's good to have somebody to guide you.
So we've secured that funding now. We're just waiting, you know, for the contracts and to get the money. Then we'll be purchasing all the laptops, and then these will be rolled out. And the amount of people who've said straight away that they want to go in it, and bearing in mind they're going to be free, which makes it even better.
Yes,
you know what I mean? So it's so I'm really looking forward to
that sounds like
that one.
I think I think that will really bring your community together. You know, because
definitely.
Some people are outside that because they're not. You know, and a lot of people have phones, but being able to access things on their phone. I mean, I admit, you know, if I lose my phone, I don't know what I'd do, because there's just everything on. Well, I'd do, but you know what I mean.
You do, but it's a scary thing, isn't it?
It
You know,
is.
your phone is just sort of like.
It's not like it used to be when
there.
you've got, you know, but everything's there, you know. I mean, yes, you back up things and all this. And
you panic, don't you, if you've misplaced it?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's like it's like, you know,
So and again, we've for all the different things we do, we've even run a series of photography workshops as well. We've had a really good professional photographer who's got like 40 years experience, who's been doing workshops as well. So teaching people all about photography, they've been really, really popular. When we put them out, them workshops fill up.
I should imagine so as well.
And the good thing is as well with them workshops, you don't have to have, you know, a expensive camera. We have people who come on them sessions with the phones, because with phones now, they've got such sophisticated cameras on them. And if you actually go into your phone, there's so many settings, and people don't. People with their phones always go to photograph. They'll do landscape or portrait or whatever, take a picture, not realising half of all the other things that you can do that are in there. And so, we, you know, Andy teaches that as well. And
I remember being at a gig, and there was somebody in front of me, and they were taking. I'm thinking, I'm not looking at the gig. I'm looking at their phone, thinking, they've got the same phone as me, and their screen looks so much better than mine. And so when at the half time, excuse me, what settings? She said, passes your phone. You know, oh right, okay,
and that's it.
And it was, you know,
And I just think teaching people things and giving people, you know, opportunities to try things, I think, you know, it is a big thing. It is, and that's what I've discovered now. So I get like very excited about it. So I'm thinking, right, what can we do next? What's the next thing we can do? Even though we are, you know, So Cute Fabrics, so Mindful Crafts is in the community side for teaching people about sewing and crafting. It's much more than that.
But nothing is ever just one thing, is it?
No,
you know, that's the thing. That might be what gets you there. But then, like you say,
you've
there's
got
a
to
little
keep
music
thinking outside the box. You've
got
got to try to keep putting different things and keeping people coming. You don't want it to become boring in the same things all the time. And we are always looking to bring in new people, because them new people then might be coming in for a photography workshop. Once they've seen the venue and seen the other things to do, they might think, I'd like to give that a try, or I'd like to give that a try. Do you know what I mean? So I think everything else.
And if you, I mean, you're such a personable person. I can tell that probably that's the core of it, is that you bring people in. You've got that kind of chat. But the thing is, that's a wonderful thing to have, because once somebody gets through the door and they meet, because getting through the door is sometimes quite hard,
that is
especially if you have anxiety or depression.
Exactly.
It's hard.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And I've got to say that he's just the easiest man to talk to. You really are.
Thanks.
But
I can talk a bit like that.
well, me too. But I have to say that it has been lovely to talk to you, and I think the project you've started has just been marvellous. I mean, you probably were a fantastic builder, but I'm so glad that you're doing this now.
Yeah, I knew what I was doing in the building trade. You know what I mean? So I'm still learning on this side of things. So.
Well, you seem to be pointing everything in the right direction. Especially because you've got so many things that are easy access and are free or low cost, and they're for the community, and you want it.
That's what I want to do. It's all about for the community. I'm not bothered about like for me or anything like this. It's about what helps with the community. It does help me.
Yeah, of course.
It's helping my mental health. Plus the fact I didn't mention. I mean, I have ADHD as well. It's on my medical records. So a lot of people tend to use this freely.
They do, yes.
It's like, I've got this. I've got all these things. I actually have. It's actually on my medical records. Yeah. But so that is I look at that more as like sometimes it can be like a bit of a superpower, because whenever you're doing anything, I have to give everything 110%.
Really focus on that.
And I could have 100 people attend something that I do, and if 99 people said it were the best experience ever, that'd be great. But I only need that one person to give me a negative on something, and then that will just loop in my head. It'll think, God, we're not doing things right or whatever, because it just because you get that passionate about what you do.
Yes, and that's the thing that comes across talking to you, is that you're so passionate about this. So I've just got to say, we're gonna wind up now, but it's been lovely to have you here. And this is Mick Perry, and
really good.
And like I say, it's at 5 York Buildings, Edlington Lane. Yep. And look on their website, somindfulcrafts.co.uk. That's right. Yeah. And if you're a gentleman, go along to the Thursdays 5 till 7:30. It seems like the best thing to do is get on that website. There's going to be something for everybody. Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed it.
I've enjoyed it. I was nervous about doing this, but I'm glad I've done it.
It's been lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Community Wealth Builders All Access podcast. Today's guest details can be found in the bio.